In this video, we're going to talk about learning target 224, which is talking about parallel, perpendicular, and coinciding lines. This problem says, given the function y equals 2/3 x minus 7, create a function that is parallel, one that is perpendicular, and one that is coinciding to the function. So the first thing I want to do is remind myself what those words mean. And so I like to make a little note to myself about these words kind of next to the word, just so that when I'm writing my equations, I have kind of a guide for me. So parallel lines, remember, have the same slope. That's how they make sure they don't cross. So I have the same m. But then in order for that to work, they have to be different lines. So I have to have a different b. If I had the same m and the same b, they would be the exact same line, which means they would not be parallel. So in perpendicular lines, we have two things that we know about their slopes. So one thing I know is that if one is increasing, the other has to be decreasing. So they have to have opposite m's, which means one is positive and one is negative. And they also have to be the complete opposite slope, which means that they have to be a reciprocal. Which just means flipped. And lastly, coinciding lines are the exact same lines. So coinciding lines mean that they have the same m and the same b. So let's actually get to writing these equations. So we're given an original over here. And so I'm going to go and kind of use my guides for each one. So parallel lines have the same m but a different b. So let's label these. This one's m, this one's b. So the same m would be 2/3. So I have to write y equals 2/3 x. And then it says a different b, so I can pick whatever I want as long as it's not minus 7. So I'm just going to pick plus 1. And then just double check. So they have the same m, check. Different b's, check. All right, perpendicular. We need to have an opposite m. So I have y equals, this m is positive, so I need to make mine negative. And then I also need to have a reciprocal m, which means flipped. So if this is 2/3, I need to flip that to 3/2. One quick note about reciprocals, if you have something like 4 and you're trying to find the reciprocal of 4, well, 4 is really 4/1, so then the reciprocal is 1/4. So then we also have to, or for perpendicular lines, we don't have to have anything about the b. So you can do the same number, you can do a different number, that is totally up to you. So I just usually stick with this one, whatever I use for parallel. So I'm going to do plus 1 over here. But again, for perpendicular, the b doesn't matter. And lastly, for coinciding, we have same m, same b. So literally rewrite the equation exactly as it is. If you wanted to get really crazy, you could switch this around, make it look different, but still mean the same thing. So I could do something like y equals -7 plus 2/3 x. Those are the exact same line, they're just flipped around. I could multiply everything by a number. If you multiply both sides, you're fine. Whatever you want. Again, easiest thing to do, just rewrite the exact same equation.